Rapier swordplay closely resembles one-handed cut and thrust swordplay except for a few key elements. Mainly, with rapier combat there is a heavier emphasis on and preference towards thrusts rather than cuts for attacking.
The rapier is held with one finger or two fingers slipped over the crossbar. You can see the crossbar in here, which is essentially the derivative of the medieval cross-hilted sword. And with one or two fingers over the crossbar, in addition to the thumb to counter them, you end up with a very good grip for controlling the blade. This, in particular, gives you a lot of control over an accurate thrust. And since the rapier is chiefly a thrusting weapon, that grip is optimized for the techniques of the rapier.
As with cut and thrust swords, there are two basic guards for the rapier, the low guard and the high guard. These two guards are in essence the same as plow and ox guard, respectively, and bear much of the same responsibilities and uses. For the purpose of this DVD, however, only the low guard will be covered in the techniques. The switching guards drill is performed almost exactly how one would expect. A swordsman changes from right low guard and left low guard, keeping the point aimed at his opponent's forehead and shifting the hilt from one side to the other just enough to close the line. To perform the maintaining distance drill, swordsmen pair up and face each other in right low guard. A designated leader in the pair moves forward and backwards with the sliding step, and the follower must maintain his distance. Much like the cut and thrust version, the rapier mirroring drill involves a leader randomly changing guards and stepping, with the follower imitating the guard while maintaining his distance. To practice thrusts, one swordsman holds his sword artificially on the center line. While he does this, another swordsman practices thrusts to either side of the stationary sword. To practice closing the line, both swordsmen must first start in either left or right low guard. One swordsman thrusts to the exposed target, while the defender shifts his guard to the opposite side, effectively protecting himself. During the defender's attempt to do this, there are a number of additional actions that can be taken. If the defender successfully manages to close the line, he can then add a riposte, a thrust that keeps the line closed, after it. The defense and riposte can even be merged into one single action if needed. Additionally, while the defender is trying to close the line, the attacker has his own options. He can disengage into a lunge on the opposite side, or can move to enter a grapple by passing forward with the parry. To grapple successfully, however, the attacker must control the defender's blade with his hilt or with his free hand while moving. After doing so, the attacker will be in a position to deliver a pommel strike if he grabbed the blade with his hand, or a throw if he used the hilt. A paired drill, one swordsman begins by taking the inside of the line from his opponent, either by changing engagement or moving his blade across. The opponent then responds by retaking the inside line. The initial swordsman should also implement sliding steps backwards and forwards, and the opponent must maintain this distance. The swordsman that first took the inside line occasionally retakes it in while stepping now, and the opponent must respond appropriately. Both swordsmen reset to the right low guard. Keeping stationary, one swordsman switches sides to the left low guard to take the inside line. The opponent evades contact to change engagement, extending into a short lunge to attack and closing the line by turning the true edge against the initiating sword. While doing this, the opponent is said to be attacking in time.